Yeah, who's this?
Delson Rowe. You don't know me, but I've been watching you.
Okay, that's not creepy at all.
You've started whispers going all the way back to Washington about Augustine and the need of the DUP.
That's great. Just one more step to making Augustine pay for what she did.
Not all of it's great. I want to help you.
Uh-huh. Help me do what, exactly?
I can help you take down the DUP from the inside. But you have to promise me you won't say anything to anyone. If the information I reveal to you gets out, I'm done. I won't even see the inside of a cell. You are the only one who can expose what Augustine's doing to conduits. The only one I trust to see this through to the end, no matter what.
All right. I'll play along for now. So what do you need?
I pushed a program to your phone. It'll guide you to my reports. Find them, hear my story, and keep fighting. Crap, I gotta go. Augustine is the most powerful conduit I've ever seen. And she's got all the DUP as her loyal lapdogs. The mission has always been to collect bioterrorists and keep the world safe. And she's done it so well that the government says they don't even need the DUP anymore. I'm gonna tell you, kid, I wouldn't want to be the government right now. Augustine is the DUP. Saying they don't need the DUP is saying they don't need Augustine. That's a bad idea. Worse, it's a powder keg just waiting for a spark. A spark like you. I remember when all this started for me. I was military. They already had my blood on file. I was the only one in my unit who had tested positive for the conduit gene. They offered me a transfer to the Special Affairs Department of the newly formed DUP. We'd be running down bioterrorists and making America a safer place for Ma and Pa. I went for it. Went for all of it. Even when they were driving all the needles into me and pumping me full of God knows what. Even through the headaches and the seizures. I believed the mission. I believed her. Augustine. Augustine's looking for you. She's looking hard, man. Just the other day we pulled up to a DUP protest and immediately grounded the protesters. That's what we call encasing them in concrete. Augustine said the first person who told her where to find Delson Rowe would go free. Once those concrete daggers dig into your joints, you'll say anything to get them out. Every single one of them swore on their mother's grave that they could lead her right to you. I'm sure it was all lies, but just the same, watch your back. I never would have told him this to his face, but Hank Daughtry was smarter than I ever gave him credit for. The guy had escaped from a couple of jails before we came across him. Plus, he managed to keep his head well in Curtin K. Something even the smartest inmates had problems with. The rumor around the water cooler was that he might have been the one who caused the transport accident up in Salmon Bay. The one that let himself and his other two conduits escape. Just think how different your world would be right now if he hadn't the transport. Augustine gave me a special detail this morning. It was one of the worst things I've ever had to do. I was to oversee the collection of people who tested positive for the conduit gene. Pull them out of those big yellow suspicion pens you see around the city. I had to pull 20 people out of those cages, kicking and screaming, begging for me to let them go. The woman asked me where I was taking her. I told her she was going to a safe place, where no one would hurt her. Once all this was over, she could come home. I hope this time I was right. You brought in someone from your village today. He was pretty worked over, but still coherent. Yokomish are tough. Augustine told him he had tested positive for the conduit gene, and that he had one chance to join her. He looked at her and just started laughing. She was furious. I've seen the conduit 2 tactic before. Works more than you think. Not on your buddy. He just kept laughing until Augustine told him to take him away to Curtin K and forget about him. Just as he was being dragged out of the room, he said, "When Delson finds you, tell him hi from the Akomish." It might surprise you to know that the DUP wasn't always made up of concrete conduits. They experimented with a number of abilities. They needed something visually strong, easy to train, and versatile. This proved harder than you might imagine. All of the plant and organic abilities made people uneasy. Wire proved way too hard to control. Paper didn't convey strength and security. Surprisingly, glass was a strong contender, but eventually proved too difficult to master. Augustine's concrete ability more and more became the only obvious choice. She was the poster child of the DUP. It made sense her ability would be the one imbued in all the troops. The crazier this city gets, the more it just proves Augustine was right. Conduits and humans can't live together. We're too different. Too dangerous. I mean, think about it from their side. Humans have a bad day, they might punch a hole in the wall or crash their car. Conduits have a bad day, and the body count is in double digits. Conduits are in a completely different weight class than humans. I'm not like Augustine. I don't have some grand vision for how all this should play out. But I do know I don't want to live out my golden years terrifying my neighbors, or worse, in a prison camp. I met Fetch Walker on the worst day of her life. I was in the team ordered to bring her skinny ass in. I have no idea how those two dumb junkies managed to stay one step ahead of us for so long. Fetch had her worst day ever. She killed her brother with her powers. It was an accident, and when we found her, she was a wreck. The easiest collection my team's ever had. I put a lot of people in Curtin K, and before that night, I never thought much about where I was sending them. Now it's all I think about. I don't know what that girl needed, but it wasn't a prison. Fetch Walker spent the better part of a year in Curtin K in the corner of her cell, curled up in the fetal position. She might be a badass laser beam throwing conduit now, but back then, no drugs to keep back the demons. A loud voice was more intimidating than her. That was all part of Augustine's plan. Break her down, train her, then break her down again. It was sad as hell. When I saw Fetch's escape on the news feed, I had to fight to keep from smiling. There was this girl at Curtin K, Celia. Apparently Augustine had brought her in before there even was a DUP. She was our first prisoner. She'd been kept in this prison for so long she didn't remember what it was like on the outside. When she learned she was going to be transported to a different facility, she didn't take it well. Curtin K had been her whole life. She couldn't handle the thought of leaving it, if you can believe that. The day before transport, she killed herself using her own ability. It was the saddest, most unnatural thing I'd ever seen. When Augustine saw the body, she just stood there. No emotion. And she told me and another guard to clean it up and get ready for the transport. You should have seen how pissed Augustine was when she realized we'd been drawing power out of those core relays. She had no idea anyone could do that. She immediately ordered a recall of all of them, including the tracker drones. However, your little stunt on the Space Needle made it difficult, if not impossible, to communicate that to everyone. She stormed out of the command and went over to the storage where we keep the tracker drones in the hives. You could hear her banging and shouting in there. She was trying to drain the power from it, like you did. Must be something special with your abilities because she didn't come out of there more powerful. Just more pissed. Can you imagine being thrown in a hole and tortured for 7 years? Poor kid Eugene. He wasn't quite right when they brought him in, but Augustine did. It's amazing he can still carry on a conversation. Now, if I wonder what her plan was, why she was putting him through so much pain and suffering. The only conclusion I came up with was that she was training him for a mission. A mission for what? We'll never know. The military came in and he was one of the first conduits shipped out. Whatever his mission was going to be, it could have been good. powers you can hold? Augustine does. She doesn't like the idea of you ever finding your way to Curtin K. We've got a lot of different conduits there, not just the ones you've seen here in Seattle. Glass, wire, paper. Man, it's a long, strange list. Imagine what could happen if you came to Curtin K. Imagine if you got all those powers. What you'd become. Man, that scares me. I bet it terrifies Augustine.